This is the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, your destination for the best in social and political straight talk. And now, here's your host, Miss Tanya Free.
It's Wednesday, August 15th. Welcome to the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show. I am Tanya Free, joined by my wonderful friends, former Richmond Councilman Marty Jewell. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
We're good.
Glad to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. And also former Richmond Councilman Bill Johnson. How are you?
I'm blessed, my lady. How are you? Thank you
I'm
for
doing
having
good.
me.
I'm doing good. And also always my good friend Van Nevels. How are you, friend?
I'm doing fine, thank you, even without a title, y'all.
That's okay. That's okay. You're still special.
Look, I'm talking this always thing, always
Thank you.
special. Okay, all right.
I want to welcome all of our friends behind the scene, Norris Johnson, Marcus Evans, and Mr. Free, and always our security, Sebastian, who's taking a nap right now. Welcome all of our listening friends from coast to coast that are listening. Hope that you would join the conversation. Phone lines are open, 804-321-1010. Our toll-free number, 844-321-1010. Or you can text us at Tanya Free 63975 to weigh in, or listen to us on your mobile phone by dialing 712-832-2784. Thanks to our friends at AM/FM 247.
And don't forget, tune in.
That's right, and tune in as well. You're right. You're right. Thank you. So, and Periscope and all of that. Yeah, all of that.
Oh, we scoping now.
Yeah, we scoping now. How about that? Let's talk about the crazy stuff and get that out the way. Omarosa.
No,
Has
don't do it.
No, we're gonna just gonna brush over it because I know folks have been watching that. I have not. She has made herself front and center as she always does, and her boy calling her a dog. How about that? And really, I could care less what what she's saying for the mere fact that she's not telling us anything new. We already know he's a racist.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: why is everybody
It's documented?
Yeah. Why is she getting so much attention with all the media? I don't understand why she is front and center. I just don't get it.
I don't think
She's not telling us
She's flavor of the
anything.
week, y'all. Come on.
I don't think it's that far fetched. They're both extraordinary con artists. They both are.
Oh yeah. You're
She
right,
knows
is.
him better than any of the folks who've been traipsed in front of us for the last 3 years. They are the same people. And they know that if anybody can bring him down, it's Omarosa.
Yes, indeed.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Not only is she a scorned woman, she's a scorned black woman. And he will take her down. Somebody said of my friend Doug Wilder, you mess with him and there is no depth to which he will not take you. That is Omarosa.
That is her. I agree with that.
That's Omarosa.
Yeah, I agree
So
with
stay
that.
tuned. They know that that tape's there. They know that tape's coming. And I bet you she's got them lined up strategically for release. So buckle up your underwear,
Yeah,
sister.
but you know what?
And
I'm
let's
just
ride.
not. I'm just not. I don't know, excited about anything she has to say. I mean, like you said, she is like he is, and she would go to no length to take him down. I mean,
And your point is what?
it's a waste of time.
It ain't no waste no time.
Oh,
Yes,
no,
it
no.
is.
I mean,
I
she
think
is,
it is. I
She
think
is
it is.
Bathsheba, and she is at the most powerful man on the planet.
Yes. Yes.
And she gonna take him down. And what we need to do is just be quiet. See, we don't give enough credit to the house Negroes.
Right.
Why
she's
should
one
we
of
give
them.
her any credit?
Look, because she
No,
knows
really. Why should we give her
that's-
any
that's-
credit for the mere fact that
That's the
for the mere-
light-skinned girl.
For the mere fact that the
spokesperson.
same individual you're talking about will sell her own people out.
Well, I don't know what
That's my thing.
couldn't
So
sell us no.
has sold. Correct. You're right.
Look,
Correct tense. You're right.
We couldn't be no more sold than we already
So
were.
why are we excited and tuned into this foolishness?
If she has,
Just step
if she
back
has nothing that's
and
going to
let it go.
contribute to the impeachment of him due to conspiracy with Russia, then it's noise. Because there's
Exactly.
nothing else. There's nothing new to.
It's more to. It's
Can
more
you
to this
guarantee
thing.
that we'll never hear a tape with the
It's-
N-word?
It's more.
Right, what's the big deal? I'm with you.
If I meet a person
Van.
who's never said the N-word ever, I'm
Well-
automatically will admit it. I'm a little bit suspicious.
But the thing
Number
is,
one.
why are we surprised? That's not
That's
news.
surprise.
You
That's
keep
what I'm saying. It's not
focusing
news, and it's nothing to
on-
be surprised
You
by.
keep focusing.
Unless he was singing a rap lyric, then that could be different.
You keep focusing on the race element, when in fact she's got much
Yes,
more.
indeed. Much
Okay,
more.
but like Van said, does she have anything that would bring him down, that would impeach him, kick him out of office?
We don't know.
Okay, what
But-
could she possibly have then? What could that possibly be?
But I ain't beating up on her. The,
I ain't gonna beat up on you.
enemy of my
I say
enemy.
get 'em.
The
Well, see, that's where we
the
fall
enemy
short.
of my enemy is my friend.
That's
friend.
where we fall short, giving her our attention until she has something that is
You don't
worth
have to give her
kicking
the
him out.
attention.
Oh, I'm not.
You
I'm
probably
not.
right not to.
Until
But I do.
until there is breaking news that she has something that is worthwhile, that would, like Van said, kick him out of office, that really detriment to him being in office. I have no need to listen to anything she has to say, or buy any books or anything. None of that.
You are set in your attitude towards Omarosa, and you have every right to be. I'm simply saying, stay tuned.
Yes.
For what?
And I said,
Stay
stay
tuned.
out of it.
Yeah.
Look, whether or not you want to, you will be staying tuned.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
Because you know why? It's right there, and it's going to stay right there
And
for
what
a
I
minute.
do, I turn it off.
There you
Don't
go.
There you
listen.
go.
I haven't. I mean, she's had several interviews, and I have not listened to not one.
You ain't
Not
missing
one.
nothing.
I
I've
know
heard
that.
them, and it's always, well, that's what I chronicle in my book. Really?
Sell the book,
or it's
Omarosa.
contention
Sell the
with
book.
whoever the interview, person interviewing her. It's just
Right.
and the other thing is, she's very stereotypical. That the angry black woman mentality, and she
Yeah.
wears that. She wears that with honor. She really does, and that to me is offensive.
Well, look, you fight fire with fire, and
And
nobody,
she
can,
don't-
nobody,
You fight fire with
nobody,
water.
nobody
That's
can.
what I do.
Nobody can be more offensive than Donald Trump, and so she's using the same fire with him. Let them destroy each other.
Yeah, just sit back. Get some
Yeah.
popcorn. Watch it.
Get some popcorn.
Don't add to the fire.
Right.
But I do think
I
you ought
bring
to
the
be
butter.
aware of what's going on and what's being said. Because it's more to what this dude doing than Russia. There's more to it than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then if
I
that's
can't
the case,
imagine it being
then
more-
if that's the case,
There doesn't
no.
need anything past that. That's
If that is the case,
That's
then
it.
why isn't she talking to Mueller, or Mueller calling her
Well,
for
she's been
information?
interviewed by
She's been
Mueller
interviewed
once, and she mentioned on somebody's show, being interviewed, that should she get a call from the investigative team that they want to re-interview her or listen to her tape, she's more than happy to go ahead and do it. So
And
Then,
we-
that's it
said
right
that.
there. Since they have not called her,
They
that
called-
tells me
they ain't called her back
well,
yet.
no. They would have been calling her by this time if she had anything credible.
that
That
we,
tells me that it's a waste of time otherwise to even talk about
we
her
don't
anymore.
know how
Okay,
many
all right.
times she's
Well,
sat in front of
you
him.
say that based on you're getting the true and accurate accounting
Updates.
of.
Mhm,
They
update.
could be talking behind the scenes and no
Oh,
no
Lord,
one's aware
yeah.
of that kind of thing. So
Oh, yeah. Okay.
don't say it on that level.
I say for us, sit back, stand up, and let her do her work.
Right.
All right, let's ask the listeners. Give us a call. and
Mueller
let us
might
know,
have
let us
gave the
know,
recorder.
let us know what you think. Phone lines are open, 804-321-1010. Our toll-free number, 844-321-1010. If you've been listening and watching the interviews, call us and let us know what you've been thinking about it. I have not. With her and him, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So let's shift to Manafort. Which,
Hold on. Before you go away, there was a former director of the FBI, I believe, who was on someone's show yesterday, and he was like, he found it strange that Kelly decided to use the Situation Room as the place where he was going to fire her.
Yes.
Versus his office.
Right.
And I mean, I understand. I don't fully grasp or get the gravity of one space versus the other. I know important stuff goes on there, but why would it have been done there? And then the media wants to jump on, well, if they're able to get a recording device into that particular room,
right.
that's a huge issue.
It is a huge
Period.
issue. Right. It is, very much so.
It's a breach of protocol.
It is.
But we will learn that they breach protocol on everything they do there.
Well, but the thing is this. Will they take her down with that?
No.
Well, they're going to try. I mean,
they're gonna try.
yeah, they're going to try.
She's a danger to that administration.
They should have patted her down before she walked
got
through
in
the
there,
door.
yeah.
They've got security protocols that should have taken care of that. They violated their own rules.
I want to say what you're talking about is true, but when this administration came into place, some of those restrictions were relaxed for whatever reason. I heard something out the corner of my ear about that. That plus the fact that up until this point, folks walking into that room that are reporters or whomever, they were functioning on the honor system. So you didn't have to mistrust who's walking in there. Okay.
And you're going to do something on the honor system with a whole house full of
But
vipers?
But this situation is a whole lot different because it is a pit of vipers.
And what's the guy that head of the EPA spent all that money to get a secure room? You take him into the secured room and hey, she got you on tape.
Right, exactly, and had no problem doing it with just a flick of a pen.
Yeah, and she said she got him. I said, get him, Omarosa, get him. Make them scream.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's talk about Manafort. And the defense rests their case on yesterday without even calling any witnesses.
Didn't have him testify nothing.
Not one thing. Mm-hmm. How do you all think it's going to turn out? Do you think he's going to be charged, or is he going to walk away from this?
Or is he going to get pardoned if he is charged?
That's the most likely probability.
Right
and
now
his lawyer is smart enough to know that you don't put him on the stand, nor do you put other witnesses on the stand, knowing that they would get totally destroyed by the prosecution.
Yep.
With all that had gone on before in that trial, who can overcome that?
Well, I think he's going to walk because the judge, to me, I think, has tainted the situation when he questioned.
I can't see that. That's straight up tax evasion.
No. I'm talking about when the judge actually went after the star witness on the prosecution side.
I understand that.
And he actually said, well, with the Rick Gates, who was the star witness there, actually said that Manafort knew what was going on, where things were going. And the judge weighed in questioning that, which to me taints the situation with the jurors, and the judge coming after the star witness, is what I'm saying.
But the judge came back.
Why did he do that?
The judge came back yesterday or day before yesterday and apologized to the jury for his intervention.
But it's already done.
Well,
it's already done.
He knows how to manage that. That's way past above my pay grade. But I think that jury is already locked in on their verdict. And it would surprise me if there's one holdout. It would surprise me because that would mean a mistrial. I'd be surprised.
Well, ultimately, he's on trial really for tax evasion. That's
right.
really why he's on trial.
And bank fraud.
And bank fraud, right. It's like 18 different counts. It's a whole slew of them. Yeah, it's like 18 different counts.
Get away more
Promising people, I'll make you Secretary of the Army if you
Yes.
go ahead and loan me X amount of dollars.
$16 million.
And they've lost upwards of 12 million. How does that happen? How does that happen? That's what I need to know.
Right.
How do you know this guy with a small bank who you can talk into loaning you some money, a large portion of the bank's reserves, cash now, and have him say yes, with the empty promise of, I need to have it in writing, and also make that ink blood, that I will probably be, that I could possibly be Secretary of the Army. And with that promise, or with that wink and a nod promise, this guy is calling up the Army talking about, let me get some briefers. I'll be running that place in a few. What?
Or the Secretary of Treasury.
Yeah.
And
HUD.
There are
all the schools.
There
are records that shows that request came through the campaign to Trump. There are records.
Let me go to the phones before we have to go to break. Hey, Scotty, how are you, friend?
Hey, I'm doing the best I can. How is everyone today?
Hey, Scotty.
Good.
How you doing, man?
Good. If I may just revisit the Omarosa thing, because I have been watching the videotapes, and the biggest thing that I picked up on is they're being very antagonistic towards Omarosa and trying to question her credibility when she got tapes backing up everything she said. She said everything in her book she has documented. So I'm like, why people mad at her and trying to say something about her capitalizing? We live in a capitalist society,
That's
not
right.
that I think that much about capitalism, but Hillary Clinton came out with a book talking about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Donna Bazile came out with her own book.
Yep.
So this is just par for the course for people at that level. Now, I don't have an opinion.
I would not put Omarosa on the level of the two people you just named. There's no way.
Yeah, I probably would put them above those two people I just named, but that's a matter of opinion.
True.
But this is what I'm picking up from some of the interviews. Roland Martin did a good interview where, again, he was defending her. Now, Roland Martin said the whole time that she was in the White House that he was talking to her, that he was texting her. So, I don't know if there's a professional relationship. He is a journalist, so I guess, that's part of his job to develop sources and whatnot.
And he's a New Yorker, and New Yorkers got a thing that they stick together.
Well, but what was interesting, and he's not the only person who said this. There's another person I haven't had an opportunity to listen to a program where a person was talking about, but Roland Martin said this himself, and I heard him say it on his interview. And he said Omarosa really did have a black agenda, and that she was standing up for HBCUs, said Nancy Pelosi, and the Democrats was trying to get more cuts to the funding of HBCUs, and that she stood in the way of that.
And where's the evidence of that, Scotty?
Well, you can talk to Roland Martin.
Hold on. Is it on tape?
Give you that evidence. I don't think Roland Martin would lie about something like
Yeah,
that.
but I mean,
but she lied to him.
Did she put anything in place that verifies that or supports that?
Well, they did bring a bunch of HBCU students there, which she talked about in her interview. The HBCU presidents did come and Trump did sign something giving them more funding. Do y'all not remember that? I remember that.
I remember that.
So it's not me calling in to defend Omarosa, because I don't know that much about Omarosa other than she's a media personality. And I think a lot of people may be judging her based off of that media image, and we're not in control of our own images. I think just because a black person worked with Trump, that, a lot of the angst is just based on the proximity to Trump that she has.
That's
But,
right.
I mean, this guy brought her to national prominence through The Apprentice show. So I don't see that she's really done anything wrong. And I was one of those people that said, look, I don't like Trump or anything he stands for or any of his policies. But we do need black people in that room.
Yeah.
You okay? We do need it in appearing.
Right, but black folks that aren't afraid to stand up and support us as to what we need, especially as a woman, black woman.
And apparently she started taping this, making these tapes during the campaign. And she's already exposed Katrina Pearson for being a liar.
Right.
When she said, and they said Omarosa is the one who kept bringing it up, saying there may be a tape out there of Trump calling people the N-word from The Apprentice.
Well, my
And
thing is this. If she knew that, why didn't she bring this up during the campaign? I mean,
she said there may be. She didn't say she knew it. Now, since then, at that time, she didn't know it.
Scotty, can you hold on? We got to take a break, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Today's praise break is Because of Who You Are by Vicky Yogi, sponsored by the Metropolitan Day School, where eagles soar.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Because of who you are, I give you glory. Because of who you are, I give you praise. Because of who
Put your business on the map for a lot less than you might think with Freedom Marketing. Text the word advertise to 63975 or give them a call at 844-321-1010. That's Freedom Marketing, 844-321-1010.
This is Tanya Free, inviting you to check out the Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, your destination for the best in social and political straight talk, here coast to coast on the AM/FM 247 radio network and the AM/FM 247 television network. Join the conversation.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show, Wednesdays.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
Disgusting.
Let me go back. Let me read this comment.
You sit on the nice kid side next time.
I know. Van is over here cutting up during the break. Let me read. Sarah said, Omarosa has been taping 45 since day one to expose him at the right time. I mean, we were talking.
She's
it takes
not the
one.
only one, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm quite sure she isn't. I mean, just think about it. We were talking about, what was this?
Like this?
Michael Wolff, in his book, Fire and Fury, how he was able to actually record and just,
hang out and just ask
yeah. You know, so you don't know who else is in there recording.
All of them?
Yeah, probably so. Probably so, Scotty?
Yeah, see, that's one of the things that Roland pointed out. This is not about Omarosa. This is about the Trump administration. And one of the things that Roland Martin pointed out is that he participated in a whole bunch of media events at the White House and that they were not checking people's iPads or telephones at the door, that they had lax security in that White House. And he also mentioned, and I mentioned this last week, Omarosa did not break the law. The District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. has a one-party consent.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was New York.
No, New York has the same thing.
Okay, I know New York has it.
That's
Okay.
D.C. That's North Carolina.
Okay.
You can Google and find out, if you have a one-party consent or two-party consent state. So she did not break the law. What they trying to go after her on is non-disclosure agreement with the Trump campaign. Now, she did show some integrity. I don't know. Again, I don't know Omarosa. None of us really know these people. We just know them from the television. Right. But She was offered $15,000 a
Right.
month to keep her mouth shut
Right.
when she exited the White House, and she turned it down, and she out here
Right.
spilling the beans. Now, before we went to break, and this will be the last thing, Katrina Pearson, that black woman from Houston who was part
She's
of Trump's
blackish.
campaign. Now, when Omarosa was bringing up that I heard, she didn't hear it at that time, but she said, I heard that there may be an N-word tape out there of Trump, and we need to confront him about this. And so it was all three of them were black women. I forget the other black woman's name, but she said she asked Trump, and he never really denied it. He was like telling them to put it to bed, meaning, cover it up. And so then Katrina Pearson on that call said, he said it. He said it.
He said it.
And
That's
then,
right.
then she trying to say Omarosa is lying in her book. This conversation never happened, and then Omarosa came out with the tape. So, they've been focusing on Stormy Daniels. They've been focusing on his attorney, William, what's his name, Cohen. They focus on all these little stories. I think Omarosa's story need to be told, too, because she got tapes.
Yes.
So anything that's showing this administration in a bad light, I'm all for it, regardless of the source.
Right.
This administration could not be any more in the bad light than it already is. From day one.
Oh, yes, it can. We've been saying that from day one.
The real thing is who.
Hey, but listen, you all have a good day. I'll continue to listen
Thank you,
offline.
Scott.
Thank you, Scotty.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
But the question is, no, regardless of how bad the light is, the folks who have the power in order to do something about it ain't doing jack.
And they can't do jack till
Okay.
November. And if they don't get the House and the
Well,
Congress,
I'm with
they're not gonna
Van.
do it
Why
then.
aren't they doing something? I don't care
You don't
what's
have the
okay, but
votes
I mean
to
with
do it.
all the negativity and everything that's going
politicians.
on.
Don't
Okay,
have-
They
all right.
wanna keep their
Then,
jobs.
okay.
They've got
I've been
contracts
wondering,
in place.
could it be that Republicans
Well, this
wait a minute, Republicans are complicit with
Yes.
the
wonder?
Trump-Russia thing, and they're expecting help from Russia themselves.
Yes,
Without
they
a
getting
doubt.
paid too.
Huh?
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Yes.
And I still have not learned or heard anybody talk about those 12 Republicans who went over to Russia 2 or 3 months ago. We've heard no report of
Well,
that.
because we are talking about stuff like this, Omarosa, unless what Van said, it makes a difference as far as him
These
being in
were
office,
12
then we're not going to,
Russian
we are
senators.
talking about all this craziness. That's what I'm saying. We'll talk about Omarosa for the next, few weeks and what have you. It'll go away, and then he'll come up with some other new rhetoric.
Omarosa's been in front of us for a week. I'm
Well-
talking about these
Yeah,
folk
but
who
what
went
we-
My,
over
my,
there.
my thing is this:
2 or
if she's
3
been
months.
recording, from day one, then she ought to have some information with regards to this Russia foolishness.
And she might.
Well, I hope she does, and she to come forward with it.
Just beat her up, girl. Just beat her up.
It's going in there.
Katrina
Yeah, just
Pearson
go on,
said I
beat her
lied
up.
when I said Trump used the N-word because I wanted to move the discussion along.
That's what she said after the fact. That was how she cleaned up. After she said, and he said it. And he said
You
it.
mentioned the 12 senators that went to Russia. Okay. What went on that kind of thing? Only they know.
Yes, that's
Okay.
my point.
Just as only Trump, Putin, and the translators know what was said during that closed
That's
door.
And
my
that's
point.
something else we ought to be concerned about, far
Yes.
as what actually said in that room when they met.
It-
And why was that allowed that somebody wasn't there? I mean, that to me is mind-boggling. I just cannot understand that. What type of president we have? Someone that is,
Well,
is
who's going to
heck?
force him to do it?
Yeah.
Right.
He's the president. If he don't want nobody in the room but the translator, okay,
Yeah, pretty much.
he the president. You can't make nobody.
Unless
you
one of the
can't make him
Rothschilds
do
calls and
nothing.
goes, Don.
Okay, all right,
Jonathan.
moving on. I'm gonna go back to Manafort for just 1 second. So, what do you all think? Y'all think he's going to be charged?
Oh, he's going to be charged. He's going to be found
He's
guilty.
charged. He's
Found
going to be
guilty.
convicted.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They're going to find him guilty, in my opinion.
But one of the things that bugged me is like yesterday, they want to talk about, well, it could be a mistrial, and it could be this and that. Nobody asked you all that. Just talk cool. thing come down. They want to give all this bloviating about what they might do. Oh, they just bug me. And this is what Trump said, fake news. Why are you sitting there creating news? Just shut up and wait for them to come down and bring the
Yeah, they
verdict.
got to fill up airtime, man.
But they need to cut the airtime down. You know, it's just too much.
They got to keep you news entertained.
Yes.
Make me go like the home shopping network.
Yeah, that's all
As you
right.
talk about this, there are still over 700 children that
Right.
have still not been reunited
Exactly.
with their parents. And more than one is likely to never see them again.
Exactly.
Okay? That's a story to talk about.
That's news.
You know, this
Omarosa
Black
foolishness.
Matahari,
Right.
let her be what she is and let it be what it is.
And let her get paid.
Oh, without a doubt.
Well, that's my point. Why we are spending time on entertainment, because that's really all it is entertainment, opposed to what's really important. The children that are still separated from their parents, and what really went on in Russia, if there really is something that there is something. I should take that back. Right, there is something, and why we can't get to, or how long it's going to take before we get to the bottom of it.
November.
That's my thing.
And as you
how
mentioned-
long is it going to take?
As you mentioned about these 12 senators that went over to Russia and how complicit members of the Republican Party are, John Bolton, looking like a walrus, minus the tusk.
Oh, he ain't big enough for that.
He's over in Russia doing a pro-NRA, a pro-gun rights speech in Russia.
Recently?
This was, it's been less than 3 years, maybe 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Putin does not want his citizenry to have guns.
Right.
What the hell are you doing there? And then we get this chick rolling over here, hanging out at the NRA conventions, snuggling up to Republican officials. She's in jail because, you know, if you let her go anywhere, if someone from the Russian consulate or whatever gets her in a car, she can claim immunity. She can claim political asylum.
Right.
So they're not going to let her out of jail.
No.
So, yeah, there's a lot more going on with this whole
right. It is.
Russia and U.S. lawmakers thing happening behind the scenes.
I think so.
A lot
And
more.
it's deeper than Trump.
And
Yes,
I just
it is.
wish Mueller would come on with it. I'm just like, okay.
No,
Once again-
Mueller has got to be very cautious and very
True, I
thorough
agree.
in all of it. He has
It's
to
true.
double dot the I's.
You're right.
And make sure the T's are absolutely crossed.
And more than that, he's got to have a rollout strategy
Yeah.
before he can even release his report, because the other side is already ready to chop it up bit by
Well,
bit.
that's why I'm thinking that Manafort will walk. I really do. It's not going to be a
I
mistrial.
don't want
James
that
said
like that.
Manafort will be convicted and pardoned by 45.
Right.
That's likely.
That's like
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how much of what's been done and testified in court, how much of that can then be used by Mueller to further?
right up as impeachment. But they're not going to
The
impeach him if
conspiracy.
we don't get the House.
Well,
Well, he squeezed the juice out of poor, what's the guy's name? Manfred already. He didn't squeeze the juice out
Michael
of that.
Cohen?
No,
Who you
out,
talking
out
Mueller.
of Mueller has squeezed the juice out of Manafort to the hip,
Yeah.
knowing that he's still got to go to trial in
Virginia,
in
right.
No,
He's in a trial
no,
in Virginia.
in D.C.
Oh, okay.
In D.C.
Okay, that's right. He is in Virginia now.
And
You're
none,
right.
of that, and none of this has to do anything with Russia.
The next trial will have everything to do with Russia. So he knows that that's where he's going to go next. Mueller has this thing pretty much schemed out. All right, we just don't know from squat about what all is going
that's why
on
it's
behind
important
what
that
to
we go to the polls November.
That's
Preach.
what's
Let,
important.
let me go to one other thing. I raised the question this week as to the speculation that Joe Biden may run for president in 2020. He was seen
How old
with
is Joe Biden?
He was seen with former President Barack Obama about a week or so ago in a bakery in D.C. And then he launched an awareness campaign to promote the LGBTQ acceptance. So it looks like he may be gearing up for a 2020 run.
How old
What do you
is
all
he?
think about that?
How old is he?
I think a great thing. I think he's mature enough, he's experienced enough, he's exposed enough, and as long as he can get up in the morning, I think he can qualify.
I think he has all of those things, and then the other thing is he has enough feisty. He's feisty
Yes,
enough
and
to go up against
yeah.
45. Not only is he feisty, but he's smart.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be, I mean, with that and trying to, and going to, you need somebody like that to go against 45.
How old is he?
He's going to have to be somebody with some spice. What, y'all said 75? I think the team is about 75. Well, how old is Trump?
Donald
Somebody,
Trump
if y'all
is
can.
70. Oh,
Okay.
No, he's just over 70.
Yeah.
Well, I wish there would be somebody younger, but we got to have somebody with some, you know.
I'd do it, but you know what I'm saying.
My concern is, have we gotten so preconditioned by Trump with something juicy day after day after
No,
day?
absolutely
Wait,
not.
let me ask a question. Have we gotten so conditioned?
Heck no. Maybe his
Let
base.
me finish
I
asking the
can't let
question.
you finish it.
Let the man finish.
That's a damn shame. This brother right here, as a taxpaying citizen of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
But tell him, it's my show.
is afforded the First Amendment right to freedom of speeches.
Go ahead. You got 56 seconds.
So go ahead and say your speeches.
That would Joe be high energy, in the words of Trump? Would he be high energy enough
I don't know that you
to
need high
attract
energy.
the kind of support he's going to need from both sides to
Yes.
actually
Yes, he
pull
would.
off
Yeah,
a
Oh,
win?
yes, he would. Yes,
I
I think he
think
would.
people
No
like
question.
saying-
And Trump has infected your brain, brother.
Huh?
He's infected your
Look,
brain.
All of
Donald
us.
Trump is the
No, he hasn't.
playing
He hasn't
grown
affected
man
mine.
politics.
Why would you
We
say
all-
that?
we all traumatized
Why would
by
I say
Trump.
that? He just asked the question, would he be high energy enough? That has never been an issue in presidential elections prior to this one.
Prior to
And
this
he's
one,
doing
that's
it.
my point.
Okay.
And
High energy enough.
I think he has created a new normal for the electorate to anticipate
So
high
now it's gotta
energy,
be infotainment,
not incompetence
politics.
and stupidity.
Let me answer your question. People have not gotten comfortable for the mere fact that when you look at these primaries that have been going on around the country, the Democrats have been doing very well.
Yeah.
We'll take a break and come right back.
Family and fun. Performances
The
by
Democrats
Keisha
have-
Sounds, the KGB Band, Dance Artistry, Akiela Jones, Pastor Tony Foote, and DJ Mark and more. Visit me and register to vote at the Tanya Free and Friends booth near the stage. Bring a friend, register and vote this year like your life depends on it. All this and more this Saturday on Brooklyn Park Boulevard, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is Tanya Free. Is your business in need of a cash infusion to help your business grow? Been told no by the banks? If you've been in business at least a year and have $10,000 in gross monthly revenue, give our friend Anthony Gibson at Fast Advance Funding a chance to say yes based on the strength of your business, not your credit history. Give Anthony a call at 215-642-0686. That's Anthony Gibson, Fast Advance Funding, 215-642-0686.
Tune into Just Jazz on Saturday nights from 9 until 11 p.m. right here on Tanya Free and Friends Radio Network. Join me, Ty Bailey, as I showcase the best in jazz, current releases, reissues, and selections from past great recordings. It's all right here on Tanya Free and Friends Radio Network at TanyaFree.com. Just Jazz is also streamed 24 hours a day at TyBailey.com.
Sponsorship and advertising for the Tanya Free and Friends talk show and the Tanya Free and Friends Radio Network is provided by Freedom Marketing Incorporated, 844-321-1010, or email us at info@tanyafree.com for more information.
This is Tanya Free. TanyaFree.com is your destination for the best in social and political straight talk, breaking news, commentary, podcasts, music, and more. Stay in the know. Visit TanyaFree.com today.
Let me ride.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
Oh, welcome to the table, my friend Clarence McGill. Hey, friend, how are you?
Hello, we're glad to join this distinguished group of scholars.
Well, you got into the conversation during the break, and you was like, okay, give me the mic.
I'm not a former city council member.
Excuse me?
I'm not a former city council member.
Well, y'all have something in common.
So you're not one of the body of scholars?
He's an author.
Uh-oh, see?
Distinguished-
now you make her feel bad. That's right, you are
distinguished author.
Tell everybody about your book. Right quick. Come on now. Quickly.
Okay, my book is called Leveling the Playing Field, The Story of the Syracuse Eight. It's written by David Mark, and the foreword was written by the great Jim Brown. It talks about late 60s boycott of Syracuse University by black players, and there were 8 of us, or actually 9 of us, but it's called the Syracuse Eight.
Football players.
Yes, and if you want to know about the history of NCAA football and how it relates to pro football and the civil disobedience that surrounded NCAA football for many, many, many tens of years, please get the book, because it's one of the few books that has the history of college football and the racial conflicts that we endured over the years.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm glad you brought that up for the mere fact that we are actually seeing a lot of that being replayed right now in this, day and time. How do you feel when you see what's going on in Charlottesville and this weekend in D.C., all these marches, and you have the KKK and folks protesting? Did you ever think you would see this again in this day and time?
It's all
legitimizing it.
Yeah,
Right.
and the president legitimized it, but it's all repetitious. All these civil responses and reactions and opposition, it's been happening for many, many years. In the early 1900s, in the late 1800s. So,
This happened to you how many years ago?
Ours was in 1969-70.
Firsthand.
When we actually boycotted the team for some basic things. We wanted a black coach. We wanted equal academic counseling. For example, today, many football programs, the academic counselors are the coaches.
Right, but you experienced racial tension at a high then. Now you're seeing racial tension at a high once again.
Correct. And it's, as I say, it's repetitious. But a lot of things that we're doing as a people, we're not stopping that entourage of attacks. And I'm an advocate of economic boycotting. We should be
Right. You talk about
boycotting
that all the time.
Papa John's. There's no way, any way that black or brown people
I think we
should.
have been boycotting for the mere fact that
I
they
see people in the
lost.
store buying the pizza. I see us in the store buying
Okay,
the
well
pizza.
then
Go tonight. You'll
when
see
It's
it.
the only pizza store in the hood. What you
Okay,
talking about?
when you see things like that, you ever think about having that conversation with people like, hey, did you know, blah, 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 boycott?
Better yet.
I mean, a lot of time it's a lack of knowledge.
Well, this has been pretty publicized in terms of the.
Not everybody read and everybody listens
Better yet, we need to get with NAACP and other groups to really call for a boycott. I've not
Exactly.
heard
I
anybody
still see
call for a boycott.
I still see black folks in Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now,
Look, I saw you too, but I ain't say nothing.
I am a staunch Popeyes consumer.
But
Staunch.
for us to be
Well,
advertising
Spicy only.
all these companies is can be an issue too. But my focus is on CEOs or board of directors that expose themselves by the N-word in a common meeting, or just showing their lack of knowledge of dealing with us. So if it's that open and if it's that public, I think as a group we should publicly respond.
Social media
Without a
is
doubt.
a great means
But-
by which to do that.
Papa John's is not sweating, 13% of the population.
Papa John's would sweat if brown and black people didn't go in that store.
Okay, you still got still have at least 80% of the population white, and they gonna go.
Yeah, no, they won't.
See, it's like rap
62%.
music.
Not in terms of
Well,
customers. Now, I don't have the books in front of me, so sometimes I do. But you can believe that we are disproportionate in terms of what we buy and our actual population.
You are
So they know that if we got together and systematically and comprehensively made a move like that, economic boycott against their product, they will fold.
And it's
And
not
to that I
just,
say-
and it's not
Not
just
fold,
black
but
people.
acquiesce.
And to that I say
I said
this.
black and brown.
It's not just black and brown.
Right.
Look, you look at these marches. The overwhelming majority of these folks are white folk.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Common,
about
decent,
but he listen to what
who
he's saying.
believes in
What
common
he's saying is right.
decency.
Exactly.
And
It's gonna
know
take more
how
than just
wrong this stuff is.
and
Right.
they would join. That's what I was
yes.
saying. They
Right.
would join.
You could shut them down.
Shut
You see,
them
they,
down.
they don't shut their stores down because they're going bankrupt. They shut the stores down when the store is not meeting their target of profit, which is far in excess of their break-even point.
What I'm saying is that Papa John's and other entities that get caught, as it were, it's like rap music. If it was solely left upon the patronage of black folks, there would be no rap industry.
That's right.
Period.
You're right. I
So,
agree with that.
With that being said,
When they cross over.
it ain't no crossover. It's about, listen to what they're saying. White kids are deep into it.
Yeah.
I went to
Well,
see
that's
Public
what
Enemy.
I mean. That's what I mean when
Oh,
I say
okay.
crossover.
It
I
has
went to see
crossover.
Public Enemy
Big
at the
time.
Flood
When
Zone.
I say crossover, I mean
And I
when
could-
white folks started buying it, that's
Yeah.
when they hit it to the top.
And and at that point, what I'm saying is that Papa John's is not going to sweat black folks, not patronize them, because they already got their little base in there.
Papa John's would be scared to death.
Papa John.
Well, wait a minute.
And then there's
how is
get
it-
little seasons.
how
And
is it that they
also,
lost
that would send a
$5
message to the world that we starting to understand our economic power. That would scare the world.
I agree with you
But so when it
150%.
has to be a comprehensive, effort that is really.
Isn't there a day of the week every year called a blackout where black folks don't buy
Used to
whatever? It used to be.
Yeah.
Ooh, blackout got
The fact
sold,
that
y'all.
you asked that question tells you it's not effective.
I was about to say, blackout
All
got
right.
sold, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, let me ask this question: how did Papa John's lose their sponsorship with the NFL, and
Because of the
whoever the
spokesperson.
guy's name is had to step down?
Because
What
of the-
what was that? What caused that to happen? That's the question.
He
Because
was
of
making
publicity.
public
But he stepped down from his
disparaging-
position, but he didn't step down from the profits that he's making.
Okay, so there wasn't any.
Out front
You-
is-
to answer your question, he got caught
He got caught.
making disparaging remarks about
Right.
black and brown people.
In a meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
In meetings.
Yeah. And more than
Right,
once.
and I remember that. In
Correct.
fact,
And his
he actually
excuse
said
was-
he actually said where he came from. He's used to something along the lines people being dragged behind a truck or something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Yeah.
And
Something
this,
of
he
that
also
nature.
he also
Yeah, 'cause I
mentioned
mean, we talked about that.
Colonel
Right.
Sanders. Well, Colonel Sanders said it. He never got boycotted. Well, you ain't the colonel. That's I don't even know how
Okay, well,
what
let
I
me
mean
ask
by
this
that.
question.
By that
Let me ask
Charmin
this question.
picking on
Thank you.
When
Thank
when
you.
was the last time you all bought a Papa John's pizza?
I am not a Papa John's fan.
I ain't a big pizza fan.
I like
Not a
pizza.
big pizza fan.
I'm sure
If I'm gonna
I've
buy
been
pizza-
to his establishment maybe a couple 3 years ago.
If
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
buy
But,
pizza,
Because I
mean-
met him in the bathroom.
Really?
I actually met him in the bathroom.
Who?
I had a business, the Papa John's
guy.
guy.
Do tell.
And one thing he told me, I asked him a question, and one thing he told me, he said, "I'm not going to change up from buying pizza." He said a lot of, entities, food entities, they go to different, products, chicken or what have you. And so
But
it was
don't-
just an interest.
but
Not,
don't
We
not
were just
buying.
talking
You
pizza.
mean
don't they sell
he's not
chicken
going
now?
to change
I'm trying to
from
understand the
selling
conversation.
pizza.
Right, selling pizza. He was going. He was going to focus. I'm sorry. He was going to focus on pizza,
So-
and that was just a conversation,
Yeah.
a loose conversation. That was interesting.
If left up to me, I'm gonna go to a pizzeria and get pizza because it's always better. Period.
Okay, well, let me ask our audience. Call in and let us know the last time you purchased a Papa John's
And will
pizza.
you buy another?
804-321-1010, our toll-free number, 844-321-1010. Or when was the last time the other question would be, are you still buying Papa John's pizza?
Because they have a bunch of what do you call it?
I know some other folks.
When you buy a pizza for discounts, they're having a bunch of discounts. It appears that's what I'm hearing. to try to get,
Yeah, but
folks
you know how cheap pizza is.
to repeat buy.
Melvin said he was shocked at the whites at the Parliament concert this weekend in Richmond. Yeah, there were a lot. There were a lot.
Why y'all shocked though?
Well, I wasn't shocked. I'm not saying I
I
was
was
shocked.
there.
But I mean, they don't have a problem with supporting, blacks and
they
whatever.
like.
They
What
love
like. You're right.
black music.
What they like. Well,
They can't help it.
That's right.
Well,
the
no,
man's
that's
almost
what Bill
75
said.
years old.
They
He's
do
been
not have
around
a
a while.
problem supporting what they like, and I think we ought to be the same way, be able to support what it is that we like.
Absolutely.
That is not.
I support white
Yes.
artists that can play.
And one of my
The
favorites is
Richmond
Willie
jazz,
Nelson. Don't
they had
get
some
me
great
started.
jazz
Yeah.
artists,
You
white
like Willie
jazz
Nelson?
Oh
artists.
my God.
He like Willie Nelson because Willie Nelson smoked.
Well, I like.
All right, let's not. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. Let's move on. We're gonna talk about something else. Being that we're talking about Papa John's and the NFL and what have you, there was an article where the police officers are not purchasing tickets from what is the team, the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, because there were 2 players, I believe, that kneeled during the national anthem.
So you know what that says? Nothing. That's what 12 tickets they ain't gonna sell. So.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm not talking about the tickets. I'm talking about the fact that they are boycotting. The reason why they're boycotting when you have 2 people that are expressing, their constitutional
their First Amendment right.
right.
Listen, let's not get this twisted. That in fact, when you see police shooting and killing unarmed black men over and over again,
And
the-
children.
wait, and the it's the fraternal order of police
Right, I got that.
It's a
who
gang.
come out always consistently in support of what happened, regardless of the facts. And so they
It's a
believe that, like they believe Trump, that the certain police officers are going to side with their boys in blue. Period. And so
I
that's
think
not a
we
surprise.
need to bring this thing in focus that this is not about they are not kneeling because of the national anthem. They are kneeling for the mere fact of the police brutality, us getting shot in the street.
Exactly.
This is what this whole thing is about,
Well,
and how we allow 45 to change the narrative.
Yes.
is what we have to get control
At
of.
least,
Yeah.
at
Right.
least those resisting police officers are pushing back for the right reason, for the original reason, which is Kaepernick's reason, and that is he's protesting against police brutality against black folks.
And the unfairness.
Well,
of the
I
system.
take it that the officers boycotting the team is because the 2 players did not kneel to the national anthem, not because the 2 guys kneel because of police brutality.
Well, I don't know.
They still are focusing on the narrative.
To
law enforcement, right,
or the
exactly,
military, which is
right.
also
They
law
they
enforcement.
they are still focusing on the narrative that the president and everybody else has been pushing. So that's my thing with the 2 officers,
Yeah.
why I have an issue with it.
So in other words, they are pro-black police brutality.
Right.
That's right.
Sure.
And it's the same people who regardless of what Trump do, they gonna support him. You just got people who just.
Well, that's
blind
30% base.
Right. Sure.
That's the thing.
Just-
And
I
I
bet your
blame
life
a
police
lot of this
officers are knee-deep in it.
on the media because they spend so much time, give him so much media time, and the mere fact that with him being in the media, and that gives other stations that are pushing fake news the ammunition that they need in order to feel that they constantly going after 45 and just basically just feeding their narrative. That's basically what is going on. We got to take a break, y'all. Go to our Black Talk commentary. Our friend Scotty Reed, take a listen.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. Nothing and no one goes
Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is a presentation of Freedom Marketing Incorporated. All rights reserved. Views and comments expressed are not necessarily the views of the host and or this station.
That's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly.
On a recent BTR News Live broadcast, I mentioned that it is absurd for people who are among the groups targeted by well-known conspiracy theorists and suspected racist Alex Jones to come to his aid in claiming that the big media corporations are wrong to ban him from their privately held platforms and making a decision to no longer distribute his content. These unlikely advocates for Jones are among the very groups of people that Jones has for years targeted with factless conspiracy theories and bigotry, and constantly telling his audience that every incident of a mass shooting in the United States is a false flag and that a civil race war is coming. Jones knows he is engaged in propaganda warfare against his targeted groups. It is some of those he targets that don't seem to know he is waging warfare against them, and he would never come to their defense in any matter. It just doesn't make sense to advocate for someone who has clearly named you his enemy and argues that he should be able to maintain his media operational ability by making arguments centered on free speech absolutism, which is a farce. Jones, with his baseless claims that a Washington, D.C. pizzeria was a front for a Clinton pedophile ring that catered to the elites, led a North Carolina man to enter the business brandishing a firearm. Among the last big media platforms to take action against Jones for violating terms of service is Twitter, who today announced a one-week ban on Jones for promoting another baseless conspiracy theory and issuing a call to arms. Jones tweeted a video on Tuesday, August the 14th, in which he called for his followers to ready their battle rifles to act against a wide array of opponents, including the mainstream media, a frequent target of Trump, and Jones is one of his most ardent supporters. Jones is not innocent, and his media operations are in service of promoting white supremacy ideology. We cannot claim to want to live in a society based on justice, but yet advocate for messengers of hate and white supremacy and believe that they are entitled to pollute the society with racist, anti-humanistic bile. Media controls minds. Hate speech proceeds hate crimes. The U.S. Constitution does not protect speech that inflicts harm on other individuals or groups. This is a lie racist and the free speech absolutists made up, and too many of the masses just believe it without critically thinking about what the First Amendment actually says. This has been Scotty Reed with a BTR News commentary. Support independent media today with a donation to the nonprofit Black Talk Media Project.
Are you searching for the best in online black radio? Then go to blacktalkradionetwork.com, helping you filter through the noise. Real talk, black talk.
Have you checked out Tanya Free TV on Ustream? Watch our radio broadcast live and catch up on past video podcasts. Download the app or go to ustream.tv to follow Tanya Free and Friends. Stay in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or text the word Tanya to 63975. Join the conversation. Tanya Free and Friends. On air, online, on point.
This is Tanya Free. Join me at the 5th Annual Brooklyn Park Celebration this Saturday, August 18th for food, family, and fun. Performances by Keisha Sounds, the KGB Band, Dance Artistry, Akiela Jones, Pastor Tony Foote, and DJ Mark and more. Visit me and register to vote at the Tanya Free and Friends booth near the stage. Bring a friend. Register and vote this year like your life depends on it. All this and more this Saturday on Brooklyn Park Boulevard, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
I thank our friend Scotty for that commentary on Alex Jones. And we were talking during the break. I cannot stomach Alex Jones. Rush Limbaugh was one thing, but Alex Jones take it to a whole new level of crazy. I mean, unbelievable, fake alternative.
Where do you find him to listen?
So what?
You can find him online.
To listen. They're taking him off of line.
No. I'm saying when they
Taking
have
him
him
off
on
of
TV.
Facebook.
I know, but I'm saying
They're
when they
taking
have
him
a
off
few,
of TV.
He was never on TV.
He's on.
Right.
He is on Twitter. Twitter said that we ain't gonna take him down.
He's still. I'm sure
he pops up somewhere every now and then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And even when I see him, I can't listen to anything that they may be interviewing or whatever the case may be. It's just
he's
him
gone
and Steve
off,
Bannon and all.
off the.
Yeah, it's
off
just
the
crazy.
When I first found out about him, I was like, oh, okay. I kind of see what you're saying about this particular issue. Interesting.
Yeah, it's.
There's extreme, and then there's extremely extreme.
Yeah, he takes
Alex
it to
Jones
a
is
whole
in another world.
whole new level. So I'm going to talk about something. There are a lot of things as to why we need to go to the polls and vote on November the 6th, which is less than 100 days away. There is a story where this 11-year-old girl was tased by an officer for allegedly
shoplifting.
Yeah, allegedly stealing something, and I think it was like candy or something like that. And according to the report, an officer, the policy procedure is that no one should be tased under 7 and no one over 70. Now, 7 is way, in my opinion, too young.
And there was someone who was a taser manufacturer, CEO, or somebody spokesperson for one of those companies, was talking about that, and I'm just like, why would you have that age range?
Exactly.
Period. As
They
single digit age.
They said no one under
Really?
7, according to this.
Well, if
I'm
it's
like,
7,
oh
you
my
can't
goodness,
run no
7
way.
years
Or was it?
old.
Or was it? I also want to say it was a weight thing as well. How much the person weighed, but still, why is a cop tasing
What
this
type
kid?
of, yeah, I mean, unless the 7-year-old is able to hold a firearm and your life is in danger.
Yeah, but
You
then
know.
again,
Yeah,
okay, was the child black? Yes. Was the
it was a
taser
little
operator
girl.
white?
It was a little
You
girl,
never know.
11-year-old girl that was running away, walking away. So
Well,
why would you? Yeah,
but hold on,
according to the report,
they're quick. You ever seen Jim Brown? They're
According
quick.
to the report,
quick.
she was walking away. So what danger was the officer in that he felt the need to use his taser?
When I was in the
Something
Army,
like
when I was in the Army, I was a military policeman. And we were trained down in Fort Gordon, Georgia, we were trained in the use of necessary force. These police departments are being trained in the use of deadly force.
Yes.
And that's got to be rolled back.
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all help me, or maybe someone in the listening audience could suggest to me how we could mobilize that message in terms of police reform.
Simple.
And how they can roll back that deadly force policy.
Simple.
Because it's used too many times with wrong intention.
For the third time, simple. When cops shoot someone and they end up being in the wrong over it, they don't suffer any real consequences. The city does. The whoever they're working for, that government entity, they got to pay the fine, so on and so on. The cops don't lose anything. They might lose their job. They're not going to lose their property.
They're not held
or anything like
accountable.
that.
Well,
So-
my point is change the policy.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think you'll find less of that going on if you change the policy.
Well,
You've
you
also
change
got
the
to,
policy
And
'cause
we got to get that word out
we
because
had-
there
we
are
had it-
police departments that are reforming
we had
their
that,
policies.
We had that under Rodney Monroe. Because when you messed up, you gonna be held accountable.
Yes.
He was like that.
Monroe was the best
Yes, sir.
and the best of the best, but he's the best because according to his own people, they tell me he held everybody to account.
That's right.
All the way down to the mechanics in the motor pool.
Because when I rolled up in there and you done something stupid,
Yeah.
book them, Dano. And
Yeah.
don't think I'm
That's right.
going to change that. Until we can get some accountability for your actions,
Right.
we're not going to change anything. If you stand in front of me talking about vote for me, what you going to do about criminal justice reform?
Well, my thing is this:
Accountability.
when did this come into a policy or being acceptable? That's what I can't understand.
one person didn't get in trouble.
Oh, it's been ramping up.
And then the next
No,
person did
it's
it.
been ramping up.
They got
for
a little bit of
while,
trouble.
Even to the point now that we now know that they are militarizing our local police departments
With
all of
surplus military hardware.
Yes, yes,
That the
yes.
government
M113
gives to them.
APCs.
We saw that in
Yes.
Ferguson.
among other
Yes.
things.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's been happening for a while across the country. They're surplusing
Well,
all
to
this
change that,
Afghanistan.
it's been happening to us.
Mm,
It's
yes.
been happening to us.
Yes.
That's where the issue is.
Yeah.
It's happening to us.
Well, see, that's-
for the mere
that-
fact, think about this. When I can't think of I don't want to even think about the kid's name that killed in Charleston, South Carolina, went in that church and killed all those people
Right.
in that Baptist church. After having Bible study with them, he was able to go
Dylan
to
Roots.
Dylan Roots, right? They took him to get something to eat, and then booked him. So how is it when we're running away, we get
It's
killed?
simple. You black. This America. Spelled
That's
with
what I
3
said
Ks.
is happening to us.
You
Yes.
look at the 30% base that Trump has. That is latent racism that's been laying fallow for decades.
I think that's overblown.
Why,
Really?
why do
The
you-
numbers
why do
are
you-
not
Why do you
overblown.
think that?
Let me
Why do you
pose. Them
think that?
polls haven't been right yet.
The numbers
Let me
aren't
point
overblown.
let me point you to a year and a few days ago in Charlottesville where folks walked around with no mask on talking about Jews will not replace us.
Right.
I remember.
And
But that's
someone
not- that wasn't
someone that
30%.
had done a documentary and spoken to some of these white supremacist folks that were like, yeah, Trump has wink and nod given us more inspiration and more confidence to go out and be who we really are out in public.
Right.
Because
That's not 30% of the nation.
Michael, the fish
hard to
watch from the
believe
head
that.
down.
You know,
Always.
I don't think it's that
I
hard.
think it's puffed up by
Well-
the media. I don't believe it.
That-
Well, I mean, I didn't say it won't true. I just said I don't believe all that hype that
What
the polls.
percentage
The
do you think
polls
it
said.
is?
The polls said.
What percentage you think it is?
I don't think it's as much as that.
the polls have been consistent from day one.
Man, I ain't seen
All
no
the
poll that been
different
right
polls
yet.
have been
you
consistent
would
around
agree that
that
there's been
30%.
a high increase.
There's high increase as far as exposure goes.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as folk actually getting out here doing something, I don't know it's anymore.
No.
So you think it's
It
just
may or may
exposure?
not
You
be.
think it's
Yeah,
just
I know what you mean.
exposure?
30% are not out here doing anything.
Right.
Nah.
30% are going to vote for him.
Right. And I don't even
Now,
believe that.
I do.
Well, do you all remember, and the host this here will remember, when I came on a couple, 3 years ago and forecast that Trump would be the president. I was the first, as you recall, and everybody tried to kill me. They tried to
I ain't trying to kill you.
vilify
Ain't
me.
nobody tried
to kill
They tried
you.
to-
We told you you was
ask her,
crazy.
She'll tell you I was crazy.
Crucified the
And
better
then when Trump became president, they thought I was Nostradamus or something.
So okay, what do you predict for 2020?
Nostradamus, bro.
What do you predict for
right.
2020?
How many?
What do you-
hold on.
what do you
How many
predict?
lotteries have you
Okay,
won?
Since
Answer that question.
Mr. Nostradamus.
you're doing a prediction, you predict things. What do you think for 2020?
I think that
Can you see that clearly?
if the Russian scandal comes to any fruition, so that is, forecasting that. If it does, he's got a problem. If he keeps it at bay, like he's doing, he'll win again because that 30% or 40% or 10%, whatever percentage that
30%.
that you were talking about, these folks
His base is 30%.
like
Oh yeah, of course
that-
they do.
that
Well,
superiority feeling.
Even if the
And
Russian
they don't care about
investigation
you.
comes to
But-
fruition,
but they're-
his
so
base
that's
is
just
still
the bottom
his
line.
base is still going to vote for him, regardless.
Sure.
'Cause
His
he's
base
al-
hasn't
he's
shrunk, but the
already
people
said
that
Not on-
support
not
him.
only
He's
his
already
base.
said that he
You
can
follow
kill
what I'm saying?
somebody and they will
Republicans
still
have-
vote for him.
But
have-
also that
Gone
underlying
away.
base in the closet, that they're not discussing who they're going to vote for, and they're not discussing with you. And I work with them; they might be friends of mine, but they're going to vote for him too.
Yes, but the number
Right at
of
this point,
I
right,
don't
right
know
at this
about
point.
the
That's,
base. I
you
don't know
remember
about
you
the
went. We
underlying
went
base.
through
I'm
the-
predicting
and,
he ain't
and
gonna
I'm
make
not.
it.
And I'm not saying I want that. I'm not saying.
I don't think he's
that-
gonna make it. I don't
that-
think he's
but-
gonna make
But
it.
I think it depends.
I don't think
I'm
he's
with
going to
you.
make it to
I think,
I don't think
2020.
he's gonna
I
I
don't
think
think
it
he's gonna make it
depends.
I'm with you.
I think
Yeah,
it
I don't think he's
depends
gonna make it.
on the
Man, the man
Russian
can't- the man-
investigation.
The man ain't gonna hold up under the pressure.
I don't think he's going to make it to 2020.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think.
Well, record
I
this.
think
Make
the,
sure you have what's the date?
No,
that-
we got it.
that we have
Today's
this
the
date.
15th, August the 15th.
Because these
Let
are
me
the
jot
pros.
this down.
These
August
three are the
15th,
pros here.
August 15th.
I'm
That
still,
are
I'm
disagreeing
still,
with me.
McGill
I'm still,
prediction.
I still want to see that big giant check that you got when you won the lottery.
Huh?
Mr. Nostradamus, don't act like you don't know.
Why would I show you my lottery winnings?
Because you gonna prove your
Tell him if you had
Nostradamusness.
one, you wouldn't be sitting here right now.
No,
You
I'd
wouldn't
be
be sitting here
I
right
would
now.
be sitting right here.
No,
with
I was
you
about to
and
say
Mr.
now.
Freak.
You'd be on the island somewhere.
Somewhere.
The brother may be a multimillionaire, but that's not going to prevent him from coming to contribute to the discussion. He's not above that.
Well,
The brother
let-
don't lose his mind over money like that. Trust me, I'll tell you.
I don't think it's going to make it to 2020 for the mere fact that you have farmers that are losing their jobs or their livelihood for the mere fact of this tariff war. And I think that's going to play a big part of this whole thing.
But
Harley Davidson.
Wait a minute. They subsidize that. They
They don't want
subsidize that law.
They don't want that. They
But
don't
the-
want.
but
They don't
the
want.
problem that
They,
Supposed-
they,
I
think
they
that's
have,
subsidized
they have
by
not
law.
passed that subsidy.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're
Congress has
already
not
saying
passed
they don't
that
want
subsidy.
that. They don't want a hand. They call it a handout. They
Right.
consider it a handout.
Tanya,
they
I
don't
was-
want that.
I was thinking about this very
Okay.
subject on the way here. Whether or not you take something is one thing, but if it's offered to you, that's the issue. That's socialism. Whether or not you take it, on you. But if you want to stay in business, then the reality is this. I need some money because soybeans
Right,
ain't
and,
what they
and
worth.
these folks,
Congress
Don't
ha-
tell
folks
nobody.
have
I agree.
pride. They don't want it. That's what I'm saying.
And they cried a gang of stuff. Let them have to eat ramen noodles.
Congress has not
You
passed
crying over
Right.
that
No.
steak.
that $12 billion
Yes.
Giveaway.
I hate
giveaway.
myself buying this steak.
Right, and I commend them for having that sense of, I hate to say pride, but they want to be able to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. Right.
Bootstraps.
Correct.
Let me read this.
The pearls.
Trump has 90% job approval from Republicans.
Right.
Yes, but of the Republicans, how many of them are there? Because those rats on a sinking ship, a lot of Republicans.
Sure.
Major ones and minor.
A shrinking party.
Okay. Well, we got to go to break. Today's jazz break is Bluesology by Houston Person, sponsored by Hong Kong Tailors, Richmond, Virginia.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is sponsored in part by
Hong Kong Custom Tailors is celebrating 50 years in Richmond. Visit their brand new expanded showroom, 1839 West Broad. Custom ready-to-measure suits for less than authorized suits at other retailers. Custom monogrammed shirts, pants, sports coats, overcoats, designer shoes, headwear, women's fashions, expert alterations, and more. All first-time shoppers will get a 10% discount just by saying Tanya Free sent you. Hong Kong Custom Tailors, 1839 West Broad, 359-5441.
There's so many ways to listen at Peachtree Radio FM. Go to rsgame.org, download the RS Game web client while playing your game. Press Control B and arrow down to Peachtree Radio FM. Also, dial the telephone number 641-552-5194. Download the Peachtree Radio FM app from the App Store and Google Play Store. Listen at Peachtree Radio FM on TuneIn Radio, iBlink Radio, and the new website, PeachtreeRadioFM.net. There's so many ways to listen at Peachtree Radio FM. Well, some listen to remember and some listen to forget.
I got work. I got work, baby. I got work, baby. I got work for you. I got work. Job, baby, and I got work for you. I got work, baby. I got work, baby. I got work, baby. Oh, I got work, baby. I got work, baby. I got a job, baby, and I got work to do, baby. I got work, baby. I got this job in your mind.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
Let me announce this before I forget. The 5th Annual Brooklyn Park Community Celebration is this Saturday, August the 18th, and we are going to have our voter registration drive there, and along with Choice. Hope everybody will come out and bring some folks when you come, because we got to register as many people as possible and turn out, show up and show out on November the 6th for the midterms. Come out and have a good time too at the Brooklyn Park Community Celebration. Food, fun for the kids and everything. It's Saturday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tanya Free and Friends going to be there. You're going to be there, right?
I'm going to be there for Richmond Crusade for Voters.
And the Choice is going to be there, 105.3.
We're going to be registering voters.
Yes,
Big time.
And I want all Myron Clack friends. Myron knows what I'm talking about. Come out and see him along with Dale Chandler and Lady T that will be there. And also, too, we're going to be giving away a few of these shirts right here that says, vote like your life depends on one side and live life with a purpose on the back. So we give away a few of those. So come out and see us. We want you to participate. And like I said, the main thing for me is that you bring somebody to register to vote, because it's going to be real important that we flip things this come November. That's key. All the stuff that we're talking about, in order to make a difference, we got to show up. We got to show up. That's the bottom line. That's nothing else to be said to that. And we cannot do that if we're not registered to vote. And then once we get registered to vote, we got to make arrangements to make sure people get to the polls. That's the other thing. I think a lot of times, we're talking about, are you registered to vote? People say, yeah, they registered, but then they don't go out and exercise their right to vote.
We got to get them out. We got to come out.
Yeah, so we're going to try to make some arrangements for that as well.
And not just to register. A lot of people have moved. There's a lot of moving going on in the city. And you need to change your address. Come out, we can get your address changed.
Right.
And you're good to go.
So that's going to be really, 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 really key. Let me read a couple of comments. Dean says, he likes Papa John's. He stepped down and he's okay with it. So he's still buying Papa John's. He's good with it. Okay, Dean.
Well, let's make sure Dean understands that the what's his name? Forgot the CEO's name.
John
Yeah.
Schneider.
John Snyder. He stepped down from his CEO position. He still is the majority shareholder in the company. So for him to say that he's all right with Papa John's because he stepped down is kind of off. I'm not going to say ignorant because he's still the majority shareholder, so he still receives the profits. So he can say the N word in a meeting that he's chairing and find no repercussions.
This is like a modern day version of the scene in Do the Right Thing. Sarah, how come you got the black people on the wall? How come you got the black people on the wall, man? Sarah, some black people on the wall. I can't say it quick enough.
That's all right. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Go ahead. Get you a career in acting. So, but Dean, give us a call, and if you want to talk to Clarence about that, phone lines are open 804-321-1010. Our toll-free number 844-321-1010. Aaron wants my opinion on Cory Booker running for president. I'm not jumping up about Cory Booker. I think he's too laid back, and like I said, we need someone with energy. What you were saying,
Well, he's got
Marty.
Booker's got energy.
I haven't seen
I
it.
just don't think he can spark enough people to get behind him. I think he's too young in country. He's
Too
been
young
there
in country.
He ain't been out here long enough to be seasoned.
Yeah, and how long had Barack Obama been in?
Well, he ain't Barack Obama.
Yeah, I know.
He's not.
I just think it's too early to be talking about what's going to happen in 2020 when we haven't gotten past 2018.
Well, we're not talking about what's going to happen. We're talking about who we can line up.
Well, that's my
And
point.
list.
It's
We're
too
trying to get a
early to
list.
line anybody up.
No, I don't think it's too early.
No, I don't think
the
it's too early at
sooner
all.
the war, the quicker the peace. And you're talking about how many people. But it's 350 million of us. Make one person over the other.
Yeah, but out of that
And let me hear
350
you.
million, how many are registered to vote?
Well,
And of that 300, and of that number of people
Trump
that are
showed you
registered
it
to
don't
vote,
take- it don't
how
take the
many
majority.
vote?
It don't take the majority. Trump showed us that. But the key here is the more people we can vet, the more people we can get out there, the more people
Well-
that can take our agenda to the forefront.
Well, the thing is this, 45 has lowered the bar lower than low. I mean, it is low, I think, in my opinion, as it can go. So,
Yeah, you said that about a year ago,
And
yeah,
he's
but
still president.
and that's my point.
and he just bought
That's my
himself a
point.
Komatsu backhoe.
The office has been
dig a little
diminished so
deeper.
much
Oh God!
that we got to go way. We got to go take it back
To
where-
your point, I'd like to think that while he certainly has taken the presidency down to the toilet, I don't think the American people have stooped so low as to sit there and watch this go on much longer.
I agree with
And
that.
so I got a lot of faith in the common decency of
I
the
agree.
American
Right.
people.
I
A
agree.
segment
You're right.
I don't.
of this of the
I
American
do.
of the voting American
We
population.
disagree then.
That's
We're gonna find
scary.
out where their head is
That's scary.
during these midterms.
I agree with you. I agree
And
with
when
you
these,
100%.
and we'll see how many people retain and how many people get put out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they get put out, who are they being replaced with? Is it more pro or is it more anti?
Well, the right wingers,
More anti,
the right
sorry.
wingers that are contesting Democrats, are almost all joined at the hip with Donald Trump.
Yep.
And so that choice is going to be real easy because
It's going to be easy.
Democrats are running against Donald Trump. Simple as that. And so
For the
we'll
midterm-
know.
for the
We'll know at the
midterms,
midterm. We'll know.
There was just an election, I guess a couple of days ago or very recently where Donald Trump showed up and that is claimed to have made the difference. I just heard that on somebody's show. I forget what it was.
Kansas.
You guys need to go to upstate New York, western part of Pennsylvania,
where there are
Northern California,
where there are disenfranchised white folks, which is about the biggest misnomer since
with a significant
military intelligence.
And they all make up
area and significant
and they
population.
all are what makes up his 30% nationwide.
Well,
nationwide.
We all have relatives that they have relatives that live in those areas, and they live here in Richmond.
And you've got urban centers and suburbs of Philadelphia who will offset everybody that you're talking to.
My thing in terms, you're talking about the decency of America. I think the decency of America, that bar has gone down. And America has tolerated all these profane issues that you see all over the news. They have tolerated it because they have no real dissent. They haven't had any public dissent.
I don't see any real demoralized. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't see whatever it is. I don't see
just
any
take the
real
examples of the more recent elections, right here in Virginia. That this LGBT woman just beat the most right-wing delegate in the General Assembly here in Virginia. The win down there over Roy Moore in Alabama. The guy in Pennsylvania that whacked the Republican there in a red district. And it's been happening all over the country.
Right, and the thing is, the protest that has been going on, the protests I think that happened in D.C., they showed up in record numbers opposed to the...
I hope you're right.
Yeah, they did. It was in the news.
I don't feel it. I hope you're right, believe me.
And being that people are uniting together in vast numbers,
they're rising up against this stuff.
Exactly,
it ain't just mere resistance. They're rising up.
I believe that. Let me read some of the comments with regards to who people think should be on the should run for 2020. Curious said Maxine Waters. What do y'all think about that?
No. Run for president? No.
Okay. All righty. Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. Longtime listener in Richmond said.
They will be presidential material in a little while.
Okay, not for 2020.
Oh no.
Okay, Daryl said.
Very few people know Kamala Harris. Or
Whatever her name is, how she pronounced it. Darnell said Biden and Booker. Biden for president, Booker for vice.
That might work.
That's a possibility. It could gain steam.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, Lisa said Harris and Booker. Camilla and Booker.
Ain't gonna work.
Two blacks. No, I agree. Especially a woman for president, and then you have a brother.
That's why we got Trump.
Not yet.
Because we had Obama. That's why we got Trump.
You had your turn.
He was wonderful and everything, but come on now.
You just woke up those latent racists out there that came out in droves.
Okay,
and a whole bunch of folks didn't like
Biden,
the choice.
But we need a younger media savvy person of choice and of color. And I really like Cory Booker. He is smart and experienced. Bernie and Elizabeth need to sit down.
They need to sit down.
Yeah, I don't want Bernie and I don't want Elizabeth Warren. Neither one of them.
Elizabeth is still viable. Bernie had his chance at the apple. I don't see that being revived.
Okay, Bruce said, I think Cory would be an exciting candidate. We don't need any more white men candidates.
Yeah, well, whoever said that apparently does not live in
That
America.
was Bruce. Rachel said Barrack would deliver Biden. I think so. I think she's
Without
right
a
about
doubt.
that. Yeah, I think she's right about that. Lawrence said Biden and Booker. Stephen said Booker and Kennedy, one of the Kennedys. Grace said
He's too new.
Grace said not sure. We need another Kennedy. I like Booker and Harris. So, and during the break, what do you all mention Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' attorney? I like him. I really do.
I do too.
I think he has a lot of.
He's got a lot of
vice,
fire.
yeah, and
I don't know that
zeal.
he has enough political clout to do something like that.
I think he would scare the pants off of 45.
He wants to run. He's an attorney.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's not who the
majority of the folks
concerned
in
with. You need to
Washington
be
are
concerned about
attorneys.
these corporate people and the money people.
Why do you say that?
Oh, because that's who's going to put the money behind somebody to run. You talk about billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's
What you
the
gonna
one
do?
who
What's
can
your
tap
policy
into the billionaires.
other than running against Trump?
The Koch brothers have said we don't care who run, just as long as they are. They'll fund who's ever.
What is it? They are
Viable. They're
no, they
libertarians.
have a different political agenda. And
They're
I can't,
libertarians.
that's what
Yeah.
it is, libertarian.
Yeah, and they hate Trump.
Yes, because
That is-
Trump.
I
is
don't
a-
know if I believe
Trump
that.
Is no, they do. Trump is a
I
loudmouth,
don't know if I believe that.
and he's
They're
just low
free-
class.
they're-
You know.
No, the fact
They're
that,
free enterprise
well, let me ask this
nuts.
question. Let me ask this question. Did they support him in his campaign?
Who?
The Koch brothers, they did, didn't they?
No,
I don't know.
I think
said no.
one of them did. I
no,
think
Can someone Google that, please?
they did
yeah.
not.
I think Charles did not. Charles is the one that's the libertarian. Charles.
They
Koch.
both sort of are. One of them recently stepped
One is
down.
more than the other one, though. One
but-
is strictly libertarian.
But they
I
didn't-
think it's Charles. I think. I'm not sure.
They don't like Trump now because he's a loudmouth. And again, they said they would support anybody who was sensitive to their needs, be it Democrat,
They're-
Republican,
they're
whomever.
free marketers, and these tariffs
And
are
major
driving
polluters.
Them, these tariffs are driving them crazy.
All right, Dinar said LeBron James for president. Lisa said, I think he is more effective doing what he's doing, changing life. The White House doesn't need change life that's meaningful. Okay, Reggie said, please time to get, okay, he says time to get real. Somebody else, Jerome said Cory Booker. Everybody likes Cory Booker. Booker sells out to big money. I'm sort of with that too, because I saw him. We gotta go to break. Okay, we'll be right back.
Great
I
day.
saw him
This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, the night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break. I'll be missing you.
It's kinda hard with you not around. Know you in heaven smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you, till the day we meet again. In my heart is where I keep you, friend. Memories give me the strength I need to proceed, strength I need to believe. My thoughts big, I just can't define. Wish I could turn back the hands of time. Us in the six, shop for new clothes and kicks. You and me taking flicks, making hits, stages they receive you on. Still can't believe you're gone. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is sponsored in part by
Marion Marketing Global. You know those guys over at Marion Marketing Global? They can do everything from billboards to bus signs. Marion Marketing Global, changing the world and expanding your brand every day, each day. Marion Marketing Global, 804-938-5218. Check us out on the web at marionmarketingglobal.com.
My name is Kimon. Today we are honoring Mr. Spike Lee. Mr. Lee Born Shelton Jackson is a film director, producer, writer, and actor. His production company, 40 Acres and a Mule Filmworks, has produced over 35 films.
Thank you, Mr. Spike Lee, for living life with a purpose.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is sponsored in part by
Anthony Gibson, Fast Advance Funding, 215-642-0686.
It's a chance to dance your way out of your constriction. Gonna be freaking up and down shall all be moved. Ready or not, here we come, getting down on the one which we believe in, under a groove. Getting down just for the funk of it. One nation and we will move. Nothing can stop us now. You know the funk, the whole funk, nothing but the funk. Ready or not, here we come, getting down on the one which we believe in. Here's my chance to dance my way out of my constriction.
Join the conversation. Phone lines are open right now at area code 804-321-1010 in Central Virginia and 844-321-1010 coast to coast.
Some prayers to Aretha Franklin and her family. I understand she is extremely ill, and I think she's in hospice.
Hospice, yes.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So.
She's at home in hospice.
Okay, okay, yeah, because she is truly,
Riri, that's my girl.
respect.
She's an icon.
Oh, yeah, no question.
With civil rights, that's not only her.
Yes, that's right.
You know, she's the queen, but she's also an icon with civil rights and civil disobedience and just the whole process of helping her people.
And so was Jim Brown, too.
True.
All righty, let's go on to the comments. Would you want to get on that conversation again?
Bobby.
Therese said she thinks Tim Kaine would be a good candidate. Reggie said no way on Kaine, too much like the Clintons. Rose
In
said
what
I
way?
love Tim, but he's too easy to beat. Barry said Biden is not the one. McKinley said we are living in an interesting time in history. We will write new history. I add, at this time, keep Clinton away from the race. In my opinion, she is too attackable. She will provide too much of a distraction.
Attackable?
Yeah, I honestly think you just need to keep her away, period. I think she's had her day, and
I just thought about this.
They're not going to elect a woman. Sorry.
I think it's just her. I really do.
No.
I think
they
no.
are
If you
not
have the right
gonna-
female, right
America
woman, I think that
is
they would.
not going to
Okay.
elect.
Omarosa for
woman.
president. Yeah.
No. No.
He just lost his
Michelle
mind.
Obama could get elected. I
Michelle
believe
Obama's
that.
too smart for that job, and you know that.
No, I'm saying
If
if
she
she
run for
were
that
to
thing, it ought to
run,
be for-
you don't think she could win? That's the question. Do you all think
Probably
she could
not.
win?
Oh, I
Probably
think
not.
it's, I
If
think it's
Michelle Obama were
conceivable
to
she
run, do you all think she could
win.
win?
She's
That's
not
the
going to
question.
run.
That's not the question.
said,
the question
I
is,
believe
do you
she
think she
could.
could win? Okay,
No.
that's the question.
No,
You said no, Bill. Why?
I just don't think.
You don't think she could win if she were to
I
run?
just don't think. I just don't think this country is ready for a black woman.
You're
Might
probably
be
right.
a woman, but not a black.
It's a woman, man. They will not elect a woman for president.
I hope I'm wrong again. Like
Well,
I was
let me
wrong about
ask a
Trump.
predictor over here, Clarence.
All right, Mr. Don Nostradamus, what do you think now?
Quiet people.
I think America will elect a woman, and I think America could elect a black woman. I don't know if there's a black woman. Michelle Obama is electable, but she has never suggested that she wants to run for the
She
presidency.
has no political pedigree.
So if in
but I'm
fact,
saying if she were to run, do you
if she
think
were to
could
run,
win?
she would need to say it now.
No, that's not the
I
question.
mean, it would
if
be-
she were to run, do you think she could win? That's the
I
question.
think it's a possibility. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it would depend on the office she ran for too, because she'd need to be mayor of Chicago.
I don't think she'll. I don't think she.
Ooh,
can
that's a
win.
tough.
I don't
That's a
think she
tough
can
nut
win.
there.
She
I
would
take
clean
it back.
Chicago
She
up.
would get that.
She would clean Chicago
Then
up.
she could ascend to that. But that's what
I
she
know.
needs to
I think
start.
she could ascend now without that.
don't
I really
think
do.
so.
I'm sure
I
you
really
do. But
Because
here's the
she,
thing.
because she has such class, such grace.
Need
Yeah,
more
well,
than
class
that.
and grace is
don't
really cool and
care.
everything, but it ain't necessary. We see that right now, don't we?
Yeah, it doesn't bring
So what?
votes. Class, you're right. Obviously,
Class and class is no
Class,
longer
no grace.
is no longer on the
profanity
on the,
does. And
yeah.
So he's right about that.
Okay,
And it's-
let
and
me
it's-
go
and
back
it's
to the
sad that
comments.
I'm right.
Sorry to say it, but Democrats haven't properly prepared. I agree with that, Anna. That when is the Democrats going to get with it?
After November.
Okay.
You got all of these Democrats
I say
running
that-
for
I
these
say that-
districts that are shaped for their particular message.
Right.
And to do a overall from the national party is just, it would wreck them. It would just put them in bad
Let me
shape.
say this. Well, let me say this. No, for the mere fact that you got 45 that is campaigning constantly right now. When he goes to these various meetings with his people, these rallies, that's what he's doing. He is campaigning.
And he's
So
cherry
we're
picking.
so we're going to wait until when?
He's cherry picking those that are most assuredly to win.
He's
But
reinforcing.
look at those
he's
others.
reinforcing his base.
Yes.
So we're going to wait
Yeah, but
until
his
when?
base is not expanding. He's
Yeah.
not
He-
talking about anything.
He's a liability to the most Republicans that are running.
In a
It's
big
a
way.
liability.
Okay.
Big time.
We'll
The
see. We'll
that,
see.
That,
They
that
don't want
Biden,
him near.
that Biden is even being posited as a potential presidential candidate is saying something very dark and very gloomy about the Democratic Party.
Really?
Yeah, think about this. Biden has been in politics for a long, long time. He's got a long track record. He's a little bit up there in age. He was vice president. If they have to drag him up from the archives,
Maybe it's his turn.
let me finish. If they got to bring him out of retirement, as it were, to come in and do this thing, what does that say about the Democratic Party as a whole? That they're a little
I don't think
confused
this
walking
says
in the walls
anything.
and stuff.
Because Bernie Sanders came very close, you know what I'm saying, and look at how old he is.
He's older than all of them, 73 years old.
Yeah,
Well,
you know, I mean,
in
I don't
reference
think
to
age
Joe
is the
Biden.
thing.
Do you understand what I'm saying now?
I understand what you're
I
saying.
understand what you're
just don't
trying to
think-
say.
I just don't think that's a
There's
verbal.
no young blood, as
Yeah,
it were.
that's
that
a good
can-
point.
That can
But-
take up
but-
that,
That's a
that
good
mantle.
point.
It's
For
a
me,
logical point of view.
I'm a Joe
but
Biden
it's
man.
not-
I'm a Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's
it's
from
not a
Scranton,
strategic
Pennsylvania.
point of view.
Yeah.
I
That's
know
true.
I know that part of Pennsylvania.
Well, I don't know.
And
I
that
look at
part
the
of
man.
Pennsylvania,
I think he's got.
They don't play.
What we need
You know,
as
it's a
far as-
real gruff, used to be mining type of area. in
Southern
which-
Pennsylvania, southwest Pennsylvania is like Southwest Virginia, and they're right wingers.
right, even
But
though
they
that's
have
kind of
been Democrats as long as they were in the coal
that's
mine.
kind of central and northern Pennsylvania. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, let me finish.
So that's
up.
why I like him in terms of his beginnings and the type of person that he was raised. The type of people that are raised in that environment, that Scranton environment. If you're not racist, now you could be racist and grow up in that environment easily.
Ooh, that's hard.
But
That's hard.
But I think that apparently I believe he is not. So he did reap the top characteristics and the premier
He's
characteristics.
demonstrated his bona fides with regard to black interests.
Another one.
He's done that.
Right, right.
He was a famous Greek philosopher.
He's already demonstrated
fides.
that.
Correct.
It's workaday white folks that you got to win over.
And he can get them.
Ding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
he can get a many of them.
Yeah, because people, the
I agree.
folks that you're saying that are undercurrent, far as may have voted for 45, they're embarrassed. They are. They're
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Many of them
Yeah,
are.
I believe so. I believe.
I don't
Many of
believe.
them are.
I don't believe.
They're
I agree.
embarrassed and would not vote for him.
But they
again.
may be embarrassed,
because
but they're not
yeah.
embarrassed
If
to
they
the
have a
extent
viable-
that,
if
that
they
they
have
will
a
not vote for him again.
alternative.
Are they embarrassed
Right,
enough
right.
that they will not vote
Yes.
for him again?
If
We
you
will-
give me some
we
more-
will-
Yes,
no,
I believe
we
so.
will know in
That's
November.
not true. That's not true.
No.
No, I believe so.
Period.
No, I believe so.
What's that?
Now it's too, okay. You gotta see the evolution. At first it was he's gonna build a wall and kick ass and all this
Well,
kind of stuff.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Well,
Let
can
me
I
tell you
finish my
why.
point?
No. Let me tell you why. Because you got folks that used to be Republicans
I guess
that
my
are not
freedom of speech
Republicans
got
anymore.
rescinded.
They have actually turned in their Republican
But
card.
you had some people that were Democrats that went Republican.
Yeah.
Recently,
because
because of him?
because of Trump.
They always
But I
drink
bet you
that
those
Kool-Aid.
same
They
folks
always
now
do.
are probably not Republican anymore. But I'm talking about long-term Republicans that are not Republican anymore because of who is in office and how extreme and how he's ripped up the Republican Party. Those are the folks I'm talking about. Those are the folks I believe would vote for Biden.
Well, let's talk about
Those are
your
the folks I'm
bona
talking
fides.
about. Go
Bona
ahead,
fides, what that
Van, right
is?
quick.
Okay. Like I was trying to say before my First Amendment rights got rescinded, because I'm living in a dictatorship here, just like being under Trump. Anyway.
Oh, wait till she fold her arms.
I'm gonna have to get Omarosa on you now. I'm gonna get Omarosa on you now.
Okay.
Let me get my recording out.
A lot of look, I'll do it for you. A lot of folks who voted for him at first, that's one thing. Now, it's like you're telling them you can't do something. Oh, yes, I can. Just to be contrary. That's what the support for enough of them is. I'm gonna vote again just because you say I can. Never mind that my tax is going to go up in a few years.
Contrary.
And that sort of thing. Yeah. Yes.
And I'm gonna lose my health care.
Trumpism is contrary.
That suburban white women, that demographic is shifting away from him.
Right.
And it's because of his women's issues. And that is going to
Me
be
Too movement, all that,
very
yes.
detrimental to him. And again, what Marty is saying, when you see these midterms and these people are running for their districts, is different when they're getting ready to run for the broader election.
Right. Yeah.
So we may lose a district or two. You understand? But we're not going to, I think the momentum is going to change with all the people for gun rights and young people's rights and LGBT
I
rights.
can't. Democrats are going to take your guns. I can't believe that BS still flies. Because there's no basis at all to
It's
support
scare
that.
tactics. It's all
Wait,
about
no,
scaring you.
you were talking to people that believe fake news, these alternative facts, and anything that he says. So,
You're talking
yes,
to Fox and Friends.
they
Yeah.
fall for all of that. That's the thing. So yes,
Well-
that whatever he says, I mean, these are the folks we're talking to. He's talking to. And have you seen them being interviewed on TV? It's unbelievable.
I saw a woman on TV
Unbelievable.
at a Trump rally talking about, yeah, he should shut down the government. The people that work for the government, they're still going to get paid. No, you idiot. When you shut down the government,
That's what I'm talking
they don't
about.
get paid.
These are the people that he's catering to.
Yes,
There's
I
only
know
two
that.
things. There's only two things that could break Trump's back. Like I said, the Russian scandal, or they have a recording with him saying the N-word.
No.
I think
They
that
don't
if
give a
they
damn.
have,
They don't say the
but let me
N-word.
finish because he has denied it so much.
Oh,
He
please.
can get on
If they
TV
can get
right
that
now.
recording,
He
no,
can come
I'm talking
on
about
TV right
I'm talking
now,
about historic recording. If they
do
can
a
get a
press
historic
release
recording,
and say,
Historic.
okay, and
it
say,
would
okay,
be
got a historic-
it would be.
They got a historic
he
legal
can
case.
he can
If
get
they don't
on
have a
TV
historic
right
recording,
now.
Omarosa says she
and
has a
say,
recording
I
that she
want
holds.
to get rid of all those in. He'll still be president the minute after he
I
said
said
it.
that
Yes,
will
he would.
impact.
You'll get
He
more
put out a
support.
full-page ad in the New York
No.
Times
Oh no, wouldn't he?
about
we-
we need to bring
we
back the
gotta
death
watch.
penalty to kill
Those are the
these
two things.
four
Or if you
brown
think him
and one
saying
black
I'm
minors.
recording old recording. I
Central
said
Park 5.
because he claimed so many years that
Oh,
he
my
never said
goodness.
that. That's not his vocabulary.
Gosh,
But they have an
no,
old recording.
No.
Nobody care.
They can have an
Clarence,
old
Clarence.
recorded-
You see?
They're
He can have-
used
he
to
can
him
get on
lying.
No.
That's his job
I
now.
know,
to be a
but I want the
first-class
verification.
liar.
I want it on a hot mic. I want to hear it myself.
Okay.
And then after he
You
said
want
Okay, let me
that.
say
We'll-
this.
we'll
You
see.
don't have to
You
hear it
want
on a
that.
mic. He can get on television and say it right now.
And
No, but he's not that
still
stupid.
gonna vote
He
for
could
him.
go to the Apollo and say it.
He's not that stupid.
And,
Rub the rock or
and
rub the
all
stump.
the Republicans,
No, he
nobody's
on
going
a-
to
he
say
on a-
you have to
he on a
step
tree.
down. None of that.
He's not that stupid.
None of that. None of that. None
But
of that.
we'll see.
I want
these
to
folk-
remind all of our
The
listeners.
black Nostradamus will see.
Remind all of our listeners to come out this Saturday to the annual Brooklyn Park Community Celebration and to stop by our table to register to vote as many people as you can bring because we need to turn out this coming November the 6th. It's very, very important. to
There's a
change the
meeting
dynamics.
tonight at 6 o'clock also at St. Elizabeth Catholic Church on 2nd Avenue in Highland Park.
What time?
On 6. On the subject of Shacklebottom
Okay.
and what can be done with it. And how can
I believe Othello and Nostradamus are both
I
black.
thank God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing us the opportunity to speak and hopefully heard. Thanks to our listening friends. Blessings to each and every one of you. Of course, thanks to Van, Clarence, Bill, Marty, Mr. Free, Noah, Marcus. I'm Tanya Free. Until next time, be free. Remember, live life with a purpose.
Sometimes I'm right, I can be wrong. Now beliefs are in my soul. A thinker, a banker, a drummer and me. Make no difference what you find me. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah. There is a blue one that don't accept the green one. Cracking in the fat one. How come I got to be a skinny one? Different strokes, but different folks, and so on and so on. Scooby Dooby Doo, yeah, do. Sha sha. Oh, we gotta live together, yeah. I ain't no better than neither you. We're basically the same, whatever we do. You love it, and then you hate it. You think you know me, and then you can't figure out where I'm coming from, so friend.
The Tanya Free and Friends Talk Show is a presentation of Freedom Marketing Incorporated. All rights reserved. Views and comments expressed are not necessarily the views of the host and or this station.